the Allan 300, the Allan 350, the Allan 9300 and the Allan are a family of 35 railcars built in the 1950s from NV Allan of Rotterdam as units exported from the land of stroopwafels and to the land of
pastéis nata e vinho tinto.
And drunk 40-year-old dads drinking an entire crate of Superbook beer bottles. These trains can be seen serving almost everywhere in the country, mainly everything encircled in this photo. As the Allan 9300 has been scrapped in recent times, and since I don't have any interior footage of it, I will quietly ignore their existence for now. We will first be starting with the Allan 300. Exterior wise, these railcars are similar to the Allan D1 or Blue Angel train from the Netherlands. However, we won't be talking about the ones from the Netherlands, so please don't get your hopes up. In my opinion, the liveries on both of them look amazing. These trains were refurbished in the early to mid 2000s to the Allan 350 that served pretty much the same services as the 300. These Allans have a very common tendency of running in multiple, as putting single car trains on long distance runs seemed to be a good idea back then. I'm also aware of the trailer car of the Allans, but I won't be reviewing them because there's literally only a few in existence and they are not in public use. Make of that what you will. Moving on to the interior of these beautiful machines, you get a pretty good storage area on one end of the train. The cab on these things are quite crammed, as you can see here in the video. The cab seats is a foldable leather seats with minimal padding, and there are just cab controls shoved wherever they fit. Moving on to the second class interior, one of MHD's pet peeves are showing up here. 3+2 seating. Funnily enough, due to the fattest 1668mm gauge of Iberia, the space constraint here is not that bad, to be honest. However, sitting on these seats are going to make your buttocks feel like TV static when riding on these seats for long periods of time, as you get limited padding on the seats. However, you do get great window alignment and openable windows that are made of the most top quality Dutch engineered windows. However, due to the darkness inside of this train, I will take some photos of the interior with the flashlight on, like if it does anything to help the situation. The defecation room on these trains are located in the middle, in order to separate the stinky second class users with the rich posh first class enjoyers with the smell of shit, as these toilets just dump directly on the track, like literally. Anyways, the poop produce room have the basic shit you need in one: a sink, toilet, mirror, toilet paper and soap. Also, I will warn you in advance that I forgot to record it on the refurbished 350s because I fell asleep on my journey on them. I will just shove photos when we get to the 350s. Moving on to first class. These seats are laid out in a 2+2 configuration. You get the same features from second class, however with much excellent padding. Armrests in between the seats and a table. Due to the massive size of these seats, I would honestly sleep in these things horizontally given the chance to do so. However, these trains aren't in service anymore, only the refurbished ones, so that's a bummer. But anyways, you still have the very not broken openable windows along with great legroom and window alignment. Moving on to the other storage area, I forgot to mention all doors have openable windows because lol. On the second compartment you have a big ass brake hose in case of trains being coupled to each other. And another thing to mention, there's no wheelchair accessibility on any of the trains in this video because fuck you. The platforms at most Portuguese station are big, I mean shorter than my will to live. Moving on to the technical side of things, these trains are powered by 2 diesel engines of the C6150T type and 4 electric motors of the GT30/27 family. They can produce up to 440 horsepower and the second group of motors can produce 341 horsepower in case of emergencies, I think. My sources don't specify their use though. Their current state is that almost all of them are quote in operation, while 304 is the one we reviewed in the museum, and the ones highlighted here have been sent to the Shadow Realm because yes. The Allan 350 is the refurbished version of the train we reviewed before. These trains are commonly called lettuces because of their green and sort of white livery. Back then, during the climax of their refurbishment in the early 2000s, these trains operated the same services as their ancestor. However, due to modernization efforts, these trains can only be seen serving the Eastern Line. More on this later. Moving on to the exterior of the Allan, it retains the same shell as its ancestor. However, the cab has been enlarged to make it so that the driver doesn't have claustrophobia when driving, with an actual comfortable seat. And I can say that because I've cab rode on this train. However, I could not take any photos because yes, I will just shove some photos I found from train logistic, I guess. As I've said before, the platforms here are short as and immobilize any wheelchair user trying to hop on a train. However, wheelchair ramps are available, but I highly doubt that they are going to fit in these thin ass Cetra S319 looking doors. And as I enter the train, my dear British viewers are getting a sense of deja vu from a certain seating layout.
Por favor, envíe ayuda a MacPato.
Okay, I may be just exaggerating a bit, but these seats are a downgrade from the original seats these things had. However, these seats aren't entirely ironing boards, because they actually put some padding on these seats. But not as much though, as my ass still felt like TV static from the nearly 3-hour long journey this thing takes to Spain. Yes, you're hearing this right. This tiny ass rail car does a 3-hour long service to Spain. More on this later as I'm going to voice over the route this thing does. Okay, so as you can see here, this train calls at
Barquinha, Almorol, Praia do Ribatejo, Santa Margarida, Tramagal, Abrantes, Bem Postas, Ponte Sor, Torre das Vargens, Chança, Rato, Porto Alegre, Assumar, Arronches, Santa Eulália A, Elvas, and Badajoz.
Apologies for any butchering. Anyways, the toilet on this railcar is very basic and very smasly. As I never went here, I don't know if they dump the waste on the track or they're chemical toilets. I may not know because I never went in here because I fell asleep on my journey back home from Spain. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. Why the hell are these trains only serving the Eastern Line?
Okay, so the main reason why these things are only serving the Linha do Leste is mainly because the lines that these things have operated have been closed, like the Figueira da Foz branch, which is I don't fucking know why it closed, and the Ramal de Lausanne, which was turned into this absolute monstrosity of a bus rapid transit system known as Metro Mondego, which is not a fucking metro, it's a fucking bus on fucking rail. I don't fucking know. It's just like, it's like the spy from TF2 disguising as a fucking railway line. But anyway, they've also been serving in the Oeste, and when I was little, I got the chance to ride one of these, and that was the first time I rode them, and I practically never saw those things again. So I guess that's it. Okay, bye.
And that concludes the review of the Allans. 1 second, let me just answer this call real quick. Yes, what is it? Oh, I can talk about the 301. Okay, I'll censor the stuff that you don't want. The Allan 301 is a refurbished Allan 300, but heavily modified for track inspections and catenary inspections, although it wasn't like this. When they refurbished the 301, it was used as a VIP train you could rent from anywhere across the country, if you had the money to do so. But somewhere in 2016 or 17, I think the Portugal acquired such railcar, and modified it to look like by adding a pantograph on one of the fronts of the train. I will now show you the interior of the train. And lastly, released by confidential sources, the 301 could be seen parked at and that concludes the review to the Allan 301. I hope you enjoyed viewing this video, and a happy new year to all of you amazing people, and thanks again for over 100 subscribers. I can't believe we've done it this far. Goodbye for now.
Bye.